Got a couple of minutes to kill while I'm waiting for my son. I don't know if it's just me, but when I look at my news feed, the world seems to be going a little nuts. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a doomsday prophet, but there does seem to be an awful lot of crazy stuff happening around the world right now, which has brought out the conspiracy theorists and the doomsday prophets. Somewhere between continuous monster hurricanes.
It's looking like a major wind and storm surge threat.
Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, all threatened by the most powerful Atlantic hurricane ever seen.
Massive earthquakes.
People diving under desks, trying to take cover in any way they can. Buildings collapsing, huge plumes of dust and smoke rising over the city.
Out of control wildfires.
Fires are now blamed for at least 23 deaths. 3,500 homes and businesses have been destroyed.
The threat of nuclear war.
Assumption would be that you could not take out the targets that you needed to take out before North Korea had a chance to start shelling the South Korean capital of Seoul, perhaps even with a short-range nuclear weapon.
It's not hard to understand how some folks might think that the end of the world is coming. It probably doesn't help that popular media has brought us a whole bunch of examples of how the world could potentially end. But when I really take a closer look and I think about what events could truly bring down society, I'm not sure that any of them could create the conditions that would truly end the world. But let's take a closer look. There are the more fantastical possibilities, like a zombie outbreak from World War Z. And while there's a lot of scary stuff going on in nature, new species of creatures and bacteria and viruses are being discovered all the time, I don't know that in reality these things could happen or that they would happen anytime soon. What about these ridiculous monster storms? What about the possibility of like the day after tomorrow? Problem there is it's more isolated, it's more localized. There's not really much of a chance of a worldwide catastrophe where one giant geostorm is going to decimate the entire planet. Same thing I think goes for the notion of earthquakes like in San Andreas. All eyes are on California right now, looking at these crazy wildfires that are decimating the state, like in the movie Only the Brave.
And then, charging out of these flames, comes this bear on fire. It was the most beautiful and terrible thing I've ever seen.
Again, while there may be widespread destruction and chaos and loss of life, it's not going to happen across the entire country or across the entire world. Society as a whole probably won't crumble under the weight of those types of natural disasters. Where I think we get closer to the possibility of the real end of the world is the terrifying possibility of nuclear war. Post-apocalyptic visions like the movie The Book of Eli. While global thermonuclear war could potentially decimate society everywhere, I tend to think that if one nation was stupid enough to drop a nuclear bomb on a civilian population in another country, the world would freeze. The scenarios are that, well, if they fire nukes, then they're firing nukes, and then they're firing nukes, and then they're firing nukes. I don't really think that would happen. In today's geopolitical climate, everybody's on eggshells from the thought of a nuclear strike. While there would be significant loss of life, I don't think it would wipe out civilization everywhere. So we're doing okay so far, right? We haven't found a way to truly end the world. There is one thing, however, that, to be completely honest with you, scares the living daylights out of me. That is the massive supervolcano that sits beneath Yellowstone National Park. That thing is scary as hell. Kind of like depicted in the movie Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones.
It's coming right up out of the ground itself.
Scientists have determined that the last major eruption of this caldera was about 600,000 years ago. What makes it really scary is looking at geological evidence that it happened 1.3 million years ago. There is the potential of a pattern of about every 600,000 years Yellowstone Park going kablooey and raining a volcanic winter over the entire globe. There's an article in USA Today this week where Arizona State University scientists determined that the ground above the magma reservoir in Yellowstone had bulged by about 10 inches higher over 7 years. Climate change, natural disasters, wars, strange bacteria and viruses, while those things can cause significant damage to our world and really decimate some societies, I really think it's Yellowstone that should have the world really nervous.
Swarm of earthquakes have hit Yellowstone National Park over the past week. The park is home to a massive supervolcano that could erupt at any time.
The explosion could be 2,500 times larger than the Mount St. Helens eruption in 1980, which is regarded as the largest and most deadly eruption in U.S. history.
Whew. Well, that's not too much of a fatalistic view of things now, is it? What do you think about the end of the world? Do you think about the end of the world? Tell me in the comments below what you think. Am I wrong? Are one of these potential disasters the thing that will wipe out life on Earth? Or is this all complete fantasy and I need to snap back to reality? Don't get me wrong, I sincerely hope that I am wrong. But if you think I did a good job in this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it on your social media. Ask your friends what they think will be the end of the world. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe and come along for more of these conversations. I'm really wondering why my son hasn't come out yet, because we need to get going. So while I continue to wait for him, I will simply thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the road. Where are you